It's Scrappy Kathy with another of the 14 days of lockdown lifts at Scrap Squad. And today, this is the original lift. I absolutely love it. It looks like there's some white on white, mixed media, or maybe just white foam stars on a white background. It looks like they've got it framed out by maybe another color of pattern paper, and I'm not going to do that. My pattern paper, I may doodle an edge, a border around it, just for the heck of it. And I'm going to use two photos. There's the striped background, and there's a pink banner and a aqua banner, and then there's this doily underneath the photo, and a few little word strips, not very heavily embellished, and that's going to be a challenge for me, as you know. Date stamp right here. Let me pull my date stamp. I'll have to figure out how to do a date because there are two different dates on these photos. I think I may just put today's date and then talk about reflecting. It's the title of the page is, my page is going to be Jet Setter, and it's as I title it that, I wonder if anybody's ever going to be jet setters again in these days and times. So let's get started. First off, I'm going to depart from the pretty blue stripe that the original used, and I'm going to use this black and white. And underneath that, I'm actually going to use a cut file. I'm going to have, there were some, on the original, the mixed media is over in this corner in here. It kind of goes at a diagonal. So I'm going to cut this cut file. This cut file's actually been cut before. It was 12 by 12, so I've cut it down. This came from the Creative Cuts Club that Christina Sorge runs. I'm just going to kind of cut it here because this cut edge is going to be hidden. I'm going to have part of it down here and part of it up here. And I'm just going to put a little touch of adhesive, and I'm going to let it kind of lift up where it wants to. And again, I wonder if there's something I can do to kind of prime my glue. This is the first time using it this morning, and it's hard. It gets flowing once I use it. I think I got a note that my store may be open. Let's see. Now, I'm hoping that I didn't test to make sure that and I may need to do that. I need this closer in. When I said that the cut-ins were going to be hidden, I meant they would be hidden by the black and white layer. And if I have it where it was, that wouldn't be the case. I think that's good. Okay. All right. And just so you know, this black and white diagonal stripe that's by Amy Tangerine, I forget what collection it's from, is absolutely one of my very favorite patterned papers ever. Okay, let me I kind of want don't know that I want this absolutely even across there, but I think I'll do that, and then the photo will be to the left. Let me get this down at least temporarily there. Okay, there's that. Now I've got a sheet of pink pattern paper. It's from the Pebbles Happy Day collection, and that came from my Mind the Scrap kit for March, maybe January. We got pieces of it in both collections. I'm going to cut this one side, and because I want both sides to have the same, if it's cut badly, I want it to be cut badly the same on both sides. So I'm going to do this and mirror that. Okay, and then we have, it's going to kind of go that way, and this one will go this way. And I'm going to go ahead and glue those down, and I'll work everything around where those are. I think that's, well, yeah. Okay, good enough. Now this one, there's just a single side of this. I'm actually going to also add a strip of globes, just because the idea is world traveling. One of the photos is from is when my granddaughter Katie was standing with her luggage on her way to New York City. She'd always wanted to go to New York, so when she was 9, and we had just retired the year before, we took all the kids on their grand vacations, and for Katie it was New York City. So I think I'll do it this way. And the other photo is all packed with her luggage, getting ready to leave home on her 13th birthday gift trip to Europe. We were headed to London that day, and I didn't realize that we'd gotten to the hotel and immediately taken off sightseeing, and she's wearing this same outfit that she'd been wearing at home in Georgia earlier that day, and she's wearing it in London in front of the Hard Rock Cafe. Okay, this I'm gonna put foam behind. Let's see, like that. That's good enough. Normally I have this cut out and already on, but I have 2 videos to make today. One is for Mixed Media Frenzy tomorrow, and I want to get that one done so that I have tomorrow free to do day 5. Okay, there. Oh, you know what? I didn't put the doily. Silly me. The doily goes there, and I like that the doily is overlapping the cut file. Let me just put a little adhesive there. Okay, now this already has adhesive, but I'll add another bit just for the heck of it. Okay, and everything I embellish this with is going to get me a Calvinball point, but I'm not going to try for all the points. I want to put this over the doily, but kind of tucked under the photo, and that's a little too far under the photo. Maybe I'll tuck it, put it under the doily after all. And I'll have it come just a little bit short of that. Okay, so my title jet setter is going to go right here. I've taken the protective coating off the back. And it has an airplane on it, which gets me a nice a Calvinball point. And I want it mostly over the pink, which is good. Okay. That's on there. Now, I'm going to do, in the original, they've typed the journaling and done it in strips. And I'm going to use my template here to draw some lines to write my journaling, and it's not going to be a lot of lines. It's not going to be the entire circle. And okay, because I made a mistake there, I'm going to make mistakes on all of them just to make it look doodled. Okay, so there's my journaling. I will fill that in later. Now let's look at embellishments. I have these flowers that I thought just perfectly went with her her dress, her outfits in both photos. So I'm going to put this guy maybe off to the corner there, and it will be flat down. I'll put this on a strip of foam. Let me get this foam there, and it'll kind of pop up. Oh, need to cut it into two. Put a little there. I'll switch it. This is wider, so it can go there. And then I think I'll probably, in order for this to raise this up a bit, okay, there, that, it seems to raise up on its own, but just to keep it there when I put it in an album, I'm going to stick a pop dot under this orange flower. I probably could leave the backing on it. Yeah, I maybe should have left the backing on it because now it lifts up the doily with it, but that's okay. Details, right? Okay, this is my rather small tray of Calvinball points. This is a real feather, and what I kind of want to do is stick it in here, but with just the tiniest bit showing, and I'm not even gonna bother gluing it, just kind of let just this little bit kind of. Okay, there. You can hardly tell that that's there. I've got an acetate piece that is an arrow, and I thought it kind of looks a little like a stamp almost, and I want to put it over the white part. Maybe I can do it here. Ooh, that's kind of cute. I'll put a dab of glue on the tip of the arrow and a dab down at the end, and I'll see if it will do this. Oh, okay. With liquid glue, you kind of have to hold it down. Okay, that works. I like that. Okay, and we get a bug point, but I use ladybugs on all my Katybug layouts anyway. So I'm going to put one kind of on the photo here on over the carpeted area. This one has been run through a filter and this one has not. This one was a very bad photo taken with an old camera, a 2009 vintage camera. Okay, I've got a couple of photo corners, and I thought I'd use, and I don't know where I got these, don't know how old they are, but they're very old. And I've got they're the same colors as in the two papers I used, and kind of compatible prints to the dress that she's wearing in this photo. Okay, got those on. I have a coffee cup. I've got a butterfly that has to come out that side, or half a butterfly to be precise. And I thought maybe I'd put him right there and let the wing kind of curl up. Okay, that seems to work. I've got a tiny rocket ship, and I may or may not use this. I would only want to kind of hide it behind something. That's probably good there. And this came from the Imagine That Boy collection, and it's actually part of the packaging. It's I bought the solid color cardstock that went with it. Okay, there we go. It's kind of hidden, doesn't really stand out too terribly much. I'm maybe gonna take that same approach with this coffee cup. She's a Starbucks fan, and it was always kind of a treat. When this photo was taken, we were living in Jackson, Georgia, which is about 50 miles, 50 miles south of Atlanta. And where we live now is about an equal distance north of Atlanta. And back in Jackson, it was about a 30-mile drive, maybe 26-mile drive to the nearest Starbucks. So Starbucks was kind of a treat. And we had moved from Houston where there was a Starbucks on every corner. So it was a bit of a culture shock for us in many ways, because we just retired and it was a shock not to be working. A pleasant one, actually. Okay, I've got an arrow here, and I'm going to, I don't need a second arrow. I already have this one, but that one gets me the acetate point, and this one gets me the die cut point. So I can only count arrow once. I've got a Band-Aid that kind of reflects the times we're in, and I'm gonna let it show. I created this on my word processor by downloading a shape. My word processor actually has a library of shapes that you can fill with colors or photos or whatever. What I did was I filled it with the scan of a favorite Hawaiian shirt of my husband's. It was navy blue with kind of beige and white print on it, and I think it looks kind of cool there. And I'll make reference to COVID-19. In fact, I'm probably gonna in this instance, I'm making reference to the woefully inadequate response that most of us are experiencing regarding COVID-19. So that's the end of my political discourse. Let me put that pink. I thought we might need a little, there's a lot of pink up here. I'll add this little glittery star, or a glittery heart there. I've got another perspective. This is a perspective from Bramble Fox. I've got another one here. This is kind of, it's a tad out of place on neither of these vacations was what you would call tropical. But in both cases, we found and photographed palm trees. That's not a palm leaf, but it's good enough. There, a camera is appropriate on any layout, I think. So this one's gonna be no exception. And I had a wood veneer camera out all ready to use, and they've removed the wood veneer rule in Calvinball and added a metal embellishment rule. So I happen to have a metal camera in my camera box. And okay, there's I have this little bowl that might work somewhere. Not sure where. This may be something I'd want to hide here. It's navy blue, and it kind of reminds me of the bag that she was carrying there. She's always been kind of a little boho in her style preferences, and she's got her bedroom decorated that way now. So that's cute. I don't need that feather. I have what I want are some strips of, I'm gonna do the date today. I've got March 24th. Let's see, today is the 26th. Let me get this turned properly. I've now turned it to April. I have kind of fumbly fingers here. 20, 6th. Okay, I'm going to, and then what does this say? Mad props. Let's do the blank, and I'll get to fill that in with something. I'm going to actually do my date stamp down here instead of and if I do it crooked, I do it a few more times just to make it even more crooked, so that one actually looks straight. Okay, that's done. Let's see what I'm going to go through. This is a Maggie Holmes Sunny Days. It's kind of a sticker packet, and I hadn't opened it or used it, I don't think. I like so many of these sentiments. I thought I'd just have the pad handy. This is Let the Journey Begin, and it's a totally appropriate saying, but I'm not, because it's kind of it's a clear sticker instead of cardstock. I need to use it over white. So maybe I can overlap my cut file with it. Okay, that works. And then I've got a few that I think are cardstock, maybe not. I've got this set of labels, and I kind of like using those just as elements to add color, just layering elements. But I'm going to overlap, because this one is clear, I'm going to overlap that there, and let's see what else there is here. I kind of like the sailing one, again, not because we sailed, but because we saw sailboats in harbors. I can add that on top of the coffee cup, and it hardly matters. It's not an obvious grab for Calvinball points, although you and I know that's what it is. Every summer has a story. When you stop and look around, life is pretty amazing. That's appropriate for today. Look on the sunny side. That's a good one. These are all clear stickers, so I'm going to layer them. I'm going to kind of put this one here, realizing that my journaling may be a little negative, but this is a reminder to look on the sunny side. There's a moment to explore. I like that, and it happens to be pink, so I can put this up here. Again, layering it over the cut file, which with white on white works out really nicely. Okay, I could go on adding lots of these because they're perfect sentiments. Are there any little pictures? I already have the, let's do a car, and I'll pick the yellow one and maybe layer it over here on top of that label tab. Okay, I'm going to call it done. I will, no. One of my more important bits. This says no dream is too big, no dreamer too small, and it has a little ladybug. This came from a, let's see, it's a Bella Boulevard collection, and these were the border strips. The collection is popsicles and panda bears, I think, and in the borders, it had this border with lots of ladybugs and snails. And one of the repeating images was this with this little sentiment on it. And as Katie is getting ready to turn 18, in the middle of the lockdown, of course, so no celebration allowed. These were the days when she was a small dreamer. No dream is too big, no dreamer too small. Okay, I like that. And I needed that. And actually, the black spots on the ladybug are what drove me to this black and white background instead of the pretty blue that was in the original. Okay, I'm done. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy the lockdown. Bye.